All right, so now that we're in this format, we can take a closer look at this. So this is 2 cardiac cycles. This is the actual flow. This is the actual cycle of a heartbeat. So this is 1 heartbeat and 2 heartbeats. Now, this tells us a couple of different things. This is actually the left ventricle. So we're going to start by looking at ventricular pressure, and then we're going to look at how that interacts with all of these other concepts here. So ventricular pressure, we're going to start over on this side. Our ventricular pressure is low down here during diastole. During diastole, the ventricular here is relaxed, and the ventricular is currently being filled from the atrium, from the left atrium. The left ventricle is being filled from the left atrium, and we have this gray line right here, which is the atrial pressure. Now, the ventricular pressure is lower than the atrial pressure, and what happens when we have higher pressure in an atria than we have in a ventricle? Blood will flow from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure passively. So we have passive blood flow from high pressure to low pressure. So high pressure to low pressure flow. Now, this flow is going to be about 80% of the flow until we have this little bump right here. This little bump right here is atrial systole. Atrial systole is when the atrium contracts and forces the remaining 20% of blood from the atrium into the ventricle. So we're going to fill this ventricle the rest of the way. Now, the ventricular pressure is going to rise and the atrial pressure is going to drop until they meet. Now, once those pressures meet each other, once they are equal, that's going to cause the mitral valve, which is the valve that is the valve between the atrium and the ventricle. It's going to close. It's going to close with a snap. And that snap is going to be the S1 sound, the mitral and the tricuspid being the similar valve on the right side of the heart. Remember, this is the left side. So that valve closing with a snap. Pause the video.